Hello everyone, welcome to podcast number 11. I'm the Slow Knitter from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Rena. This is episode 11, podcast number 2, Knitting at the Beach. We've been at our beach house in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida this is week number 3. We're going home on Saturday, unfortunately, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. We have things to do at home. I've decided to podcast from the deck today because it's so beautiful out and I couldn't resist. So I had to come out to podcast here. Welcome. I'm the Slow Knitter from Atlanta. Let me tell you who I am and where you can find me. I am on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook as the Slow Knitter. I am Rena Lydia on Ravelry. I have the Slow Knitter podcast group also on Ravelry, and I will put all that below so that you don't have to remember that right this minute. And if you are a new viewer, welcome, and I hope you enjoy. This is one of the many places I podcast from. Last time I podcast from the office upstairs in the house. Today I'm podcasting from the deck because it's so gorgeous out. And I think that's it. I have a slowknitter.com website. If you ever want to go there, you can. And I'm about to put my glasses on because I can't see a bloody thing. All right. There I am. Okay, hello. Anyway, I'm happy to be here again. It's our last week here. I have lots of chatter at the end to tell you how we enjoyed this last few weeks. It's just been pretty wonderful. And this is the perfect time of year down here. As long as it doesn't rain. The weather is, for 3 weeks, it has been gorgeous. I mean, like, I don't know, I think today's a little warm, 83 degrees. I mean, it's been in the low 80s, high 70s. At night, it's in the mid to high 50s. It's been beautiful. This is one of the best times of the year to come here because the spring breakers are gone. The snowbirds are gone. It's just us people. So it's been a lot of fun. And the weather has cooperated. Bob has played tennis every day he's scheduled to play. He's very happy. And I'm really getting a lot of knitting done. But listen, the best news I have for those of you who have been here before, welcome back, by the way. I hope you're enjoying this. I have a hoe and soon to be FO. Maybe by the end of the day or tomorrow I will have an FO, but I need to podcast today because it takes me a long time to get this up on YouTube and edit it, and I'm editing challenge. Anyway, so guess what? It's a sock and it's a hoe. Yes, indeedy do. This is the from the Mina Phillips Knitting Expat New York Sock Club. The pattern is called the Avenues, and you can see it's a sort of a slip stitch pattern, which I love, by the way, because it sort of breaks up the knitting. I started with she gives you all sorts of, in the pattern, she has all sorts of variety of how you can do, whether you do a 3-row repeat of it or 6-row or an 8-row. And then there's a combination that she puts down, which is really fun. So it really kept it interesting. I do them tandem. I did my last pair tandem. This time, though, I did it toe up. And I bought a Craftsy class by Susan B. Anderson on my first toe up socks. My first toe up sock with the Afterthought heel. Now, for those of you who have been here before and you know that I have struggled with heels on socks, and you say, why? It's so simple. Not for me. But this one, I think it likes me and I like it. I wasn't perfect on it, but when I thought about, you can hear the noise. These are the trees that are rubbing against the tin roofs. We have a lot of tin roofs here. That's what the noise is, and you'll hear birds. It's a little ambiance for you. Anyway, I did the Afterthought heel. A heel when I first saw it, I was like, no way will I ever attempt that. Because, you know what? I like it. And I think it likes me. Plus, I had Susan B. Anderson holding my hand through the whole thing on this. It's a great class, by the way. It's a little plug for Craftsy for doing this. It's a great class. And she does it on double pointed and on magic loop. So if you know, I do my socks on magic loop. I really liked it. What I liked about it, I liked that it was different and that it broke up the sock monotony a little bit. So you do the whole sock, the whole tube of the sock. Isn't that funny? That's a branch rubbing along the back of on the top of a tin roof. It broke it up so that you had to put in the waste yarn as a placeholder for the heel, and then you just continue to knit up and do a stretchy bind off for the cuff. Anyway, I was terrified. And you know, she acknowledges that all the way through. She says, I know it's scary, don't be afraid, it's fine. And you know what? It was. It really, really was. Let me tell you about the yarn I used. Lolo Did It had a St. Patrick's mini skein thing a couple months ago, and I bought it. And this is one of the greens that was in it. It's called Leprechaun. And then I used Mustache Valentine's Day yarn for the self-striping. Okay, you think I'm heel challenged? I'm winding self-striping yarn challenged. So the other one, the second one, the one that is about to be finished, has got about this much cuff left, and then I will do the afterthought heel again. I will tell you that I wound the yarn incorrectly, so it does not match. The way Mustache sends it to you in two 50-gram skeins, so you just wind them. You think that I could wind socks correctly? No. Self-striping, it's my first self-striping yarn. Anyway, so they don't match, but who cares? I mean, it's so fun. The colors match, obviously, and it's just plain old fun. And I really liked the afterthought heel. I did. I was really anxious to get to it. I was like, when is this going to be over? I also sized my foot correctly. I followed everything that Susan B. Anderson suggested, and success. Go home, I'm going to block them, soak them, block them, and then hang them up and show it to you as a pair the next time I podcast from home in Atlanta. Okay. Yay! A sock, a-hoo! But soon to be an FO. Yes. And if I do it by tomorrow, I may have... let's take a step back. It takes me a very long time to do socks. Some of you do it really speedy. Not me. I do it really, really slowly. So it took me... I cast on when we got here. So it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks and I have a hoe. Could have an FO soon. 3 weeks and I have an FO. Fingers crossed. Do the afterthought today. Anyway, yay! So I've also brought my 2 shawls that I'm trying to finish, and I can see the end is near on both of them. Not yet though. I've been working on them a little bit in between these socks, and I've made some serious progress on my Janina Callio Passeggiata shawl. It's coming along really well. I'm really, really happy with it. But I still have, I would say, maybe a quarter more to do. Not that much more to do. So but I want to finish the socks. This I've got to finish. So, and also my Melanie Berg shawl, which I brought along, which is also making great progress. They're long. I have tendonitis. I have knitter's tendonitis really badly, so I have to take breaks. So when you do a long row, a long row on either one of those shawls is probably the equivalent of, 10 rows on this. That's a lot on a sock. So, anyway, so that's the sock story, and that's the shawl story. Making progress. I also, when I go upstairs to my office upstairs here, I do a little memory square, little mitered square for my memory blanket. And again, progress, but that's going to be super slow. So, but I did go to the Destin Yarn Shop. I told you I would. Where they sell Hedgehog now, yay! And I found out, and I think I said this in my last podcast, they also sell Ancient Arts. And Ancient Arts yarn, again, they have a line of yarn that are named after dog breeds and cat breeds. So since I have Weimaraners, I ordered the Weimaraner one to be sent to the house after I realized that they actually sell the yarn at the Destin Yarn Shop. So of course I had to buy one as well. And so I'm going to show you my yarn acquisitions. Yay, this is the best part. I love yarn acquisitions. This is from Ancient Arts. She did have a few skeins and I bought one. And I love this. This one is called Border Collie. Can you see the Border Collie? Is that not the cutest thing? Look at the color of the yarn. It looks like a Border Collie. It's 100% superwash blue face Leicester. This is 100 grams, about 437 yards. But doesn't it look like a collie? So I just love the picture. And apparently when you buy one of these Ancient Arts, here's the label, Ancient Arts yarn, they donate, that's named for an animal, they donate some of the proceeds to rescue organizations. And as a rescue mom, I love that. I love that story. So, and I love the combination. I can't wait to wind it up. It's got some browns in it, and some whites and some blacks. It's really beautiful. I'm really curious to see how this is going to look wound up. So that's that. Then, of course, I had to buy a hedgehog. How could you not buy a hedgehog if it's right there in front of you? You've got to buy it. So I did. Now, I will tell you something funny. I bought 2 skeins of typewriter. Now I'm seem to be in a black and white phase. So this is typewriter. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see it. This is typewriter from Hedgehog. Doesn't it look like, looks like newsprint typewriter. So I bought 2 of them. Why do I need 2? Anyway, I had a little buyer's remorse about buying 2. So I bought Hedgehog typewriter. And I think it would really go well as a complementary yarn to a richer color. All right. Then while I was there, I also bought Malabrigo sock, which I love Malabrigo yarn. I've worked on Malabrigo worsted. I've worked on their Finito line. I love Malabrigo. But this is Malabrigo sock lettuce, which is hand wound because I needed some of the yarn for the afterthought heel. I needed a different color for the afterthought heel, so I hand wound this lettuce colorway, which is really pretty wonderful. I love this green. And so that's what I bought. So the first day I bought 2 skeins of typewriter, which I bought the Ancient Arts, and I bought the lettuce colorway Malabrigo sock yarn, right? So when I came home, I was like, why did I buy 2 skeins of typewriter? It's not like I'm making a garment out of typewriter. What have I done? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to their knit day, which is Thursdays, and I'm going to exchange the typewriter for another Hedgehog that they had. So I did. I went to their knit day, which was last Thursday, and I exchanged the typewriter for another Hedgehog. All right. So the ladies are sitting around the table. It's knit day. So the ladies are sitting around the table, and we're chatting. And one of the ladies, Fran, is making the shawl. Oh my God. What's the shawl? Andrea Mowry shawl that everybody's knitting? That one. She's making that. She's starting and she started at the thong section. I'm completely blanked out on what that shawl is. I'll remember it. And she's knitting, and I think that yarn she's knitting with is gorgeous. It was this green, it had blue undertones. I was like, what is that yarn? She's like, oh, it's Hedgehog. I'm like, what? What color is that? She said, oh, it's hunter green. I'm like, what? I must have it. And sure enough, I went back and I traded back the other Hedgehog that I'd gotten to get this hunter green color. It is spectacular. First of all, skeined up, it looks one way. When it's knitted up or when it's wound up in a cake, it looks something else. There's a lot of blue undertones in this yarn, and it is knit up. Find your fade shawl. Sorry, bunk. Find your fade shawl. And she's starting at the thong section, and she was starting with this, and it was knitting up like incredibly gorgeous. Hunter green hedgehog, and it's got just a lot, and you can't really see it when it's skeined up. I mean, you can see some of it, but when it's knit up, you really see it. I thought, I've got to have that. That's really, and you know what? With a typewriter, it would be pretty special. And since I joined, like everybody else, Ho-He's mystery knit along for her big stole shawl thing, I'm thinking everything that I bought, this could be the start of some of it, because I think she wants it, she's recommending a speckle, right, as part of it. I'm going to follow her color suggestions. Not exactly, but you know, the tones that she's recommending. But all of a sudden I'm thinking, hey, this could sort of work. And then while I was there, I decided that I needed, I don't need anything, but I needed, because I might want to work it into a couple of these projects, it's just a neutral, just a natural. So I just got Malabrigo sock, natural. Simple, not complicated. And it'll wind up and it'll complement any of this stuff that I've gotten that I might want to do for Ho-He's mystery shawl. See, like, you know, happy accidents happen. And I also want to check out, something dropped, I don't know what it was. I also want to check out, oh, I gotta wash, it dropped. I also want to check out what I have at home in Atlanta, because I have this huge stash. And I want to see if there's something, and something's telling me that a gray would go really well with this combination, since the there's this black in the hedgehog, and I don't know, I like in my mind I'm thinking, I have something at home, I have a lot at home that I can use for that. Anyway, so there was a fun trip. I might go back tomorrow for knit day if it's supposed to be cloudy, a little bit rainy tomorrow. So I might go back for knit day, but this time I'll bring snacks. So they brought snacks. I don't know the etiquette for knit days, knit nights, okay? Because I'm new at this, you know, joining, being part of this community. So I may have made a faux pas, so I need some advice. So if you could tell me if I've done something incorrect, that would be most helpful. All right, I was sitting there at knit day last Thursday, and I had my Melanie Berg shawl with me, which is, I purchased a kit from Miss Babs, so it's Miss Babs yarn. So I'm knitting, and one of the ladies says, oh, what is that? And I said, oh, yeah, Melanie Berg on the Spice Market shawl. What was that? Oh, it's Miss Babs. I hear a growl from the moan from the other side of the table, and it's Carol, the owner. And she's like, oh, Miss Babs, I can't get that. She won't sell wholesale or something. I don't know what the story is. All I know is that all of a sudden I thought, holy crap, am I supposed to be knitting with the yarn I buy in the shop during a knit day night? Is that the etiquette? Like, you can't bring in something that you're knitting that you bought the yarn somewhere else? I don't know. So you know, I don't like Miss Babs. I thought, oh my God, have I done something wrong? So I stayed another half hour. I was going to go home anyway, and I packed up everything and went. And I thought, oh my God, have I made a faux pas? I mean, I don't really have anything to knit. I didn't bring any needles for new yarn that I bought for her. I thought, wait a minute, I just spent like a ton of money with her. Shouldn't it be okay that I sit there during knit day? And you know, it passed, but it really lingered with me. I was like, holy crap, should I be knitting with her, only her yarn that I bought here? Anyway, long story short, I stayed for another half hour and then I left because I was nervous that I made a boo-boo, a faux pas. Anyway, no, I did not. So I'll go back tomorrow. This time I'll come with snacks. Apparently their thing there is they all bring little munchy snacks. So I'll stop at Publix or a grocery store and just put some snacks out on the table so that I'm accepted, because I would like to like join this lovely group of ladies, like, you know, when I'm down here periodically. Whatever. Anyway. Oopsie. What is the etiquette? Somebody tell me. Okay. While I was there, Carol had some really great things in the shop. It's really, you know, for this community to have that kind of a shop, it's pretty good. She had, and I posted this on Instagram, she had these wonderful greeting cards that were knit centric, or knitty phrases that only us knitters would understand. What I found really interesting was that I came home and I looked them up online. The name of it is Itty Bitty Witty Nitties Card, and I had it on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, The Slow Knitter, please do, because I'll post a lot of this stuff. I'll also include a link to that in my show notes. They had these cards, these swatches. I don't know if you can see that swatch. These swatches are made by deaf women, and because my parents were deaf, I'm particularly drawn to anything that's done by the deaf. These swatches are made by deaf women in the Yunnan province of China, and then they're sent back to the States, these little swatches, and they're assembled by this company. And this one said, "Friends don't let friends knit drunk." And you can see the swatch is like crazy swatch, but it's really a cute little card. And then you know, it's blank inside, so you can write a sentiment if you want inside. So they're cute. But that was really intriguing to me. And they're not on Instagram, but you can go to their website, and there's like a ton of knitting sentiments they have that you can get on Instagram. I bet you can get through their website. Another one I got was another swatch made by a deaf woman in China. Says, "Do you ever think you own entirely too much yarn?" So fun. I don't know. The focusing on it? Not really. There you go. That's a little better. And the sentiment is me neither. Do you ever think you own entirely too much yarn? Me neither. But I think I'm going to maybe buy a couple more when I go tomorrow and put it in like a shadow box. I don't want to send this to anybody. I want to keep them for myself because they're so fun. But and also because it has a special place in my heart because of the connection to the deaf. So I think that's really neat. And then I bought like a wash or something. So I'll probably go back tomorrow. Made a lot of progress on my shawls. Very happy with that. I have ordered yarn to be sent home. Why? Because it's there. I just keep seeing these other projects that I could be doing that need to be done. That's why I'm doing it. Anyway, the camera is flashing at me again, so I don't know what's going to happen now. It might just like say no more. I don't know. Anyway, little chatter. We've had a very social time since we've been here. We've had visitors, neighbors. We've had people that live in this community, in our community nearby that have visited. We usually just stay very close to home and don't really do anything. And this week it's just been crazy, which is in the last 3 weeks. And it's been just a ton of fun. Some of you saw that I got a little electric battery-operated scooter that I'm scooting around the neighborhood in, which is so great, and it's a lot of fun. People are stopping me going, "What's that?" It's so fun. Let's see, Bob's been playing a lot of tennis. The dogs are happy. They've been going to the dog park every single day, which to me is a little bit much, but Bob's a very, very actively involved dog parent. He knows what's right for his doggies. And I think that's it for today. Next time you'll hear from me, I will be in Atlanta. I will show you the FO of the socks that I will have blocked. It took me 3 weeks to do them. But it takes a long time to do this for me. The afterthought heel, I might be, you know, a fan. I'm going to keep on trying. I did a little goof up on it a little bit, but not too bad. And then, you know, I'll show you what progress I made on my shawls, which I'm very, very happy with. A lot of progress on that. Also, I was a tourist in my own backyard. I've been coming down here for so many years and didn't stop by places that have been there forever, and did a little touristy thing, had a ball, bought some kitschy gifts, and you know, it was just fun. Reading, you know, a lot. You come to the beach, that's what you do. You read, you knit, and the beach has been beautiful, and it's the perfect time of year to come. If you ever come to the Panhandle, make sure you come in April or even the beginning of May. It starts to get a little warmer towards the end of May. You are in Florida, after all, and it's really gorgeous, and the temperature is perfect. But if you come, you know, the crowds are sort of gone, except on the weekends when the neighbor, you know, the outlying, you know, people that live in Dothan, Alabama can come for, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, so they'll come for a weekend. But during the week, it's super quiet, it's super great. So there was a lot of places that we went that I went that I have never been, which is cuckoo, cray-cray. And then, I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram, I always stop by this farmer's market store run by Renee, who runs Twin Oaks Farms, which is about an hour and a half from here. She has sheep, and some of the wool from her sheep are spun by spinners in her area, and she showed me some hats that were made from the wool of her sheep. They were pretty soft and wonderful, and she said, if you know some spinners, I can give them a whole thing. They just need to get it carded, and they need to get it, whatever spinners do, with their yarn, and you know, so if you know, I was like, I do. I happen to know some people, so I might mention it to a couple of people that I know that do spin. They can have yarn from Twin Oaks Farm in Florida, and spin it from her sheep. I don't know what kind of sheep they are, American sheep, but this wool was so, and I think it was dyed. I don't think it was acid dyed though, but it was unusual, and so go to my Instagram page and you'll see Renee, Twin Oaks Farm apron, showing me the hats. Really, I tried. They were really great. So that's just been a fun couple of few weeks here, knitting and talking to people about sheep and wool, and visiting places that I've never been, that have been right here in my own backyard, enjoying this lovely weather. So, and then back to Atlanta on Saturday, and then lots of graduation parties and doctor's appointments and other things that we have to do that you usually have to do in everyday life. But now we'll be back at the end of May for Memorial Day, maybe a couple weeks after that. So listen, thanks for coming. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. I love you all. This is my sign off, which is sign language for I love you. And thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time from Atlanta this time. Okay, bye.